Jagrata.
What you have to decide at some point is whether you think that you understand life and that it has meaning to you because you have given it meaning, or whether you're willing to let life be an experiment that reveals itself to you instead of you feeling you know it, you letting it teach itself to you. And if you are willing to experiment with coming to know life, how boundless are you willing to let it be? How open are you willing to permit her to reveal herself to you? So like if you have a person, you don't know that person, you can't know anybody. They have a whole life inside themselves, just as you have a whole life inside yourself. So many experiences, so many different events, all of which programmed them, left impressions on them. Even animals, your pets, are that way. They have so many aspects and facets to their energy exchanges. Where are the limits in which you're permitting a person to reveal themselves to you? So if you enter into a relationship with somebody, you know you put limits. Some people don't think of themselves as open. We'll go from one extreme to the other. They don't think of themselves as open. It's like, I never said I was open. This is how it is. Okay? In which case, obviously, you don't get to know that person, do you? You're not even interested in knowing that person. You're interested in that person knowing you. Here's how I am. Be that way. Fair enough? That's how it is. There are some people who feel that's what goes on in a relationship. Probably that's why some women complain so much. They're usually at the short end of that stick in different cultures. It's just, this is how you're supposed to be. No, be that way. Who asked your opinion? I'm not interested. Just, here it is. Okay? That's one extreme. It doesn't feel very good. You don't get to know anybody. Then you move and you feel, I'm much more open. I permit you to, within reason, wear what you want to wear. I approve it, but at least you get to ask. Oh, do you think I would look good in this? Or would you feel comfortable if I wore this? And so on and so forth. And you get what they call a very, very liberal husband who permits you to pick your clothes as long as he approves them. Well, there are people like that. It's not rare at all. You might even met some. And so, basically, here we have a little bit more openness, right? Then you go further over the other way, and you actually have somebody who's free to wear what they want to wear. Okay, and if this person gets a little shocked by what the other person is doing, they try to contain themselves, right, and not look too shocked. And depending on how open they are, right, if they're too shocked, either they try to be very subtle and open to try and get the person to change their behavior, or they just try to accept it themselves and so on. Then we go further. And it stops being about clothes, and it stops being about what you talk about, and it stops being about what church you go to, and it stops being about lots of different things that people do in relationships that, who has control and who has rights and all this stuff. And it opens up, and then all of a sudden, somebody just leaves a note and just says, I went away for a week. What? How open is open? How open is it to where somebody literally is experimenting instead of controlling? I want to show you that experimenting is the antithesis of controlling. Because what an experiment means is I don't know. That's why I'm experimenting. Controlling means I know. I'm starting with the premise that I know how it is to be, and I'm controlling. If you don't even have a premise that you know what is supposed to be, or what could be, or what should be, or what the bounds are, then you are willing to experiment with what unfolds. Now, what would happen if you think that's very avant-garde, that this person could go away for a week, or this could happen, or that could happen, or somebody gets into meditation and starts meditating all the time and misses dinner, and just all kinds of stuff happens. What if all of a sudden you came home, and there was your person doing their thing, and all of a sudden they turned into a cat? Then they turned back into a person. Are you that open? Where are your boundaries? How interesting can this be? The person says, yes, I've been studying witchcraft. You want to see it again? No. And what exactly else can you do, and to whom? All right? Where are the boundaries? In other words, at what point does the mind say, no, enough? I'm not going there. I want to talk about that. I'm not going there. This is not okay with me. What does that mean? It means that you don't want to experiment anymore. You want to draw a line around those edges and say, I am reasonably comfortable within this realm, and look how much better I am than everybody else. Other people don't even allow all the things I talked about, and here this was getting very weird, and I just have to draw a line. The problem is you will never ever know what's on the other side of that line. You will never know how life is on the other side of that line, and you will never know how you are if you don't have that boundary. Good. I want you to dare to even look at that. When you draw that line, you have limited yourself. You have limited yourself and you have limited life. You've not limited someone else. That's absurd. You have basically said, I am willing to say this is where it stops. The experiment of getting to know God and getting to know life has no such bounds. Period. None. Zero. Nothing. That's blow your mind. No bounds. However life is expressing herself is what I want to know, is what I want to see. If indeed it stretches me to limits heretofore unexplored, then this is where it must go. All right? You don't ever want to draw a line and say this is where I stop exploring, because then you'll never know what's on the other side. A yogi is an explorer. A yogi is a phenomenal explorer, beyond those who climbed the mountains, beyond those who first trenched across this country or went to the moon, because you are truly exploring the unknown. At some point you're exploring places no one has gone. Only a few rare beings, but no one has ever walked your path. I always tell you how no one ever saw the life you see. No one has ever seen the life you saw. No one ever, and they never will. You know that. No one has ever walked your path. Your path is unique into itself. And your challenges and your edges and everything that's unfolding around you and the whole way in which you're opening is unique. So you are carving, you're an explorer. You're carving new territories. At what point will you stop? The yogi is the one who says no point, ever. There will never, ever be a point where a line is drawn. And I said, I don't want to go any further. I'm not going to go past that. So your mind tries to do things like talk about what's reasonable, what's fair, what should be happening, all that kind of stuff. You ever hear a talk like that? You know, this is not reasonable and this is not fair and so on. And you'll even hear it talk about things like, why do I deserve that? And if you get all the way out to the edges of that, you are exploring the edges of the personal. You see, that is like sitting here saying that life is unfolding, but its unfolding is pushing me past where I've been. And therefore you feel that somehow you have a right to not go past where you've been. You even do it in the realm of, what did I do wrong? Why do I deserve this? Why did I end up with the wife that turns into a cat? I didn't do anything. And you think like that. Your mind thinks like that. It thinks in relationship that things should fit within your frame, and if they don't, there's something wrong. It's so innate, it's so deep in you that I'm daring you to question that. It feels something must be wrong. And maybe it practices acceptance, which I don't like. Because to practice acceptance means you accepted the fact that it was wrong, but you're accepting it. You have already judged it as, I don't like this is not right, this is improper, but I'm so bold and so spiritually evolved that I will accept this. It's like forgiveness. I once told you, but don't tell anybody I said so, that forgiveness is not a spiritual quality. Why? Because to forgive someone, you already judged them. You already took the negative position within yourself. That's why you have to forgive. If you were completely open and nothing touched you, you wouldn't know what the word forgive means. Because forgive means to let go. You're holding on to something that somebody did. It is negative to you. I can't argue with you that it was wrong. I can't argue with you that you don't like it. All I can say is forgive them anyways. I'm in favor. I'm forgiving, all right, for letting go, for giving them a chance, for forgetting it. So it means let go anyways. True spirituality would never get in that state. True spirituality means spirit just passes right through you. There's nothing clinging, holding, grabbing that has to then let go. So forgiveness and all these sorts of things, they're nice little things along the way. But when it's said and done, don't have great pride in the fact that you're so accepting and that you're so forgiving. Because to have to accept and to have to forgive mean you already got caught. And you've just decided to let it go. There should come a state, there will come a state where your expansiveness, your voidness, your emptiness, your boundarylessness, you're beyond boundaries. There are no edges. It's infinite. When it is infinite, everything fits. You must become infinite. But we don't think like that. We think in terms of, gee, I'm doing well. Look how open I am. Look how much I accept. Look how much I don't judge as much as I used to. You have to go way past that. The world is unfolding. That should be all there is. Your experiment in life is that you don't know anything. How could you? You don't know a single thing about what should be or shouldn't be or anything. Life is unfolding. You would like to get to know her. Then you have to let her unfold. And that is your experiment. Your experiment in life is one of absolute utter surrender. You have no hopes, no dreams, no beliefs, no concepts, no views, no preferences, no anything. You just exist. And because you exist, you experience. Because you are conscious, therefore you are aware of what is. That is the ultimate experiment in life, is the willingness to be. The being does not judge. Judging is about limiting, about boundaries. Why can't you just experiment with what is? Why can't you just let what is be? And the answer is because it's very uncomfortable. It's very uncomfortable. Everything is unknown, and I don't know what's going to happen next, and I don't feel solid. All right? So I sit there and I say, well, I don't know what she's like. I know what she's like so far, but everybody's very complex. And so, what do I know? How it'll be in a week, in a year. You don't know anything. The question is, if that's not okay with you, then you're going to develop beliefs. If it's not okay with you, however it will be, then you will have to develop beliefs about how it's going to be so that you can be okay. Otherwise you won't be okay. Do you understand? Can you see how it happens? That's why the mind does what it does. So if I can sit here and say, well, I love you and I love being with you, and que sera, however you turn out to be, that's going to be quite a trip. It's going to be quite a journey. We'll have a journey of awareness and exploration and getting to know you. It'll be a journey. And it's not like when I went and climbed the mountain and or DeSoto went through the swamps and so on. He didn't know what he was going to find. But he went anyways, didn't he? I'm telling you, a yogi is a gambler. A yogi is an explorer. A yogi is completely open to what will happen next. Otherwise, if you're not, it gets very complicated. Because you must start developing within your mind concepts, views, opinions, beliefs, preferences, hopes, and dreams. I hope you've memorized those words by now. Every one of those words is so powerful. Can you see when you do them? Right? You have to develop those because you can't handle the unknown. What is a dream? I told you, we make these things as though they're something special. I want you to think of them in relationship to your comfortableness with the unknown. All right? The unknown is what the future is, isn't it? The next moment, the whole thing could blow up. You don't know. You drop dead. Somebody could leave. Anything can happen, can't it? You don't know. Are you comfortable with that? Because if you're not completely comfortable with that, you will try to fill the gap with dreams, hopes, beliefs, concepts, views, opinions. You will fill it with mind stuff. You will make stuff up so that you don't have to face the unknown. So you don't have to face your lack of comfortableness. On the other end, should you become an explorer, an experimenter with life, whose only interest in life is to experience life, not any particular life, just to experience life, you will not have those problems. If you are completely open to embracing the unknown, why would you need dreams? Life itself is a dream. It's unbelievable. It's a dream that's unfolding around you. Why would you need hope? I don't understand. Hope is not high enough. Hope is anchored. Hope is around a belief. Hope is around a preference. It's not like, I hope that what will be will be. Nobody ever says that. I hope that God's will just happen, whatever it is. You don't have to say that. You hope for something special. You hope for some dream or preconceived notion or preference. You picked something and then you hope it happens. All right? You're in trouble when you do that. So hopes and dreams and concepts and views and opinions and preferences and beliefs, no use for such things. They are the result of the need to cling. That's why your mind is so active. Because you are trying to use the mind to fill the space in the unknown. In truth, it's really simple now if you hear this. You're trying to use the mind to make the unknown known. You're trying to use the mind to make the unknown known. Where is so-and-so today? Oh, she's at work. How do you know? Did you see her? No, I know she's at work. You don't know anything. I don't want to not know anything. Shut up. She told me she's going to work. She's at work. I'd be very uncomfortable if I don't know she's at work. Why? Just leave me alone. Will you? I'm not going to talk to you anymore. I don't like you. Okay? It's like, I need to know. I need to know. I don't want to not know. I don't want it to be unknown. Because it's uncomfortable to me. The yogi marches right into that. Where wise men fear to tread. That's where they go. Why? I don't want to be afraid of the unknown. How about you? I don't want to be afraid of life. I don't want to be afraid of the unknown. I want life to unfold. And life is unknown. You do not know what is going to happen next. The fact that you are making it up in your mind and then trying to make it happen, that's because you're scared. There's no life you're going to create in your mind that's better than life. In fact, you're going to ruin life by definition. Life, right? Was it Lenin said it? Life is what happens to you while you're busy making other plans. Then stop it. Why don't you let life be what happens to you? The reason is because you're scared. Because you want to make the unknown known. Experiment with that. Experiment with letting the unknown be unknown. It's an amazing thing. Do it little by little. Each moment. Try to see you are trying to control it so that you feel safer. Your experiment is to not. Your experiment is to not use your mind to make the unknown known. Well, I'd like to leave you with that. You don't want me to leave you with that. You hear me? Stop trying to make the unknown known. Let the unknown be unknown. What will happen? You will feel fear and you will get scared. What do I do with that? Why would I want to be scared? I don't want you to be scared. I want you to let go of the fear. I want you to get comfortable with the unknown being unknown. because that's the truth. It is unknown. And the fact that your mind makes up stuff doesn't make it known. It just hides your fear. There is something on the other side of that fear. There is something on the other side of that fear. That fear is primal. That fear is very, very deep. Your fear of the unknown. Either you spend your life trying to make the unknown known with all this mental activity and all this work that we do, or you spend your life experimenting with exploring life. How do you explore life? You let her come to you. Now, I have a few minutes. At this point, sometimes people walk out of such a talk and they say, oh, everything's supposed to be passive. I'm not supposed to do anything. I might as well just sit in the Himalayas and do nothing because I'm just going to let life come to me and there's nothing I do. I'll never get married, never have any friends, I'll never have any money because I'm just letting life come to me. That's what's going to happen if I just let life come to me. Nothing. That's what you think. That's what you believe. But I told you about your thoughts and your beliefs. You never explored. You never experimented with that. You just kept trying to make the unknown known because that unknown is empty, isn't it? That unknown is nothing. You're going to get nothing. Those who dare to experiment with life see that when they let life come to them, how can that be nothing? It's life. Life is very full. She has everything. She has relationships, she has love, she has finance, she is God. She is everything. Everything. That would be as sad, and this I say would be as sad, but a lot of people are this way, as someone who never gave room for you to love them. They were always busy getting you to love them. They were always busy saying the right thing, wearing the right thing, doing the right thing, giving the right thing, checking to see you're okay. They were always very busy trying to do things so that you love them and like them. And if somebody ever said to them, why are you doing all that? They would look at you like you're crazy. Well, I want them to love me or like me. It's just wonderful. Look, they like things and I try to do nice things for them and so they're nice. They like me. So did it ever dawn on you that they could like you instead of what you do? No. You see? You never explored that part. You never explored what would happen if you let them just come to you if they wanted to and not if they didn't. Why? It's too scary, isn't it? It's a little scary to do that because you don't know if they're going to come or not. And you don't know when they're going to come. And you don't know what they're going to say. Because you left it open. So you didn't have that control. That's the experiment. That's the experiment with life. Is you permit life to come to you. She brings what she brings. She takes what she takes. She's there when she's there. She's gone when she's gone. But she's never gone. Life is always bringing to you. It's you who makes the mistake of deciding what you want. And then you say, oh, she brought it, or she didn't, or she gave it, then she took it away. I guarantee you at any moment that life is bringing something, there's tons of other things she's not bringing. And I guarantee you at every moment that it appears life is taking something away, there's billions of things she's giving. You are the one who's focusing on what's coming and going, not life. And so the wise being just says, my experiment is to let life come to me. People, places, things, events, circumstances. Whoa, isn't she? She's always coming. That is how I come to know her. It's not unknown. It's life. It's life. That's enough known to me. I've come to know her. It's like someone who you get very close with and you feel comfortable with. You don't know how they're going to act when you come home. You don't know exactly what they're going to say. But whatever it is neat. You understand? And somebody said, but that's unknown to you. What if somebody, every time they called in before they came home and they gave a script? You say, what? Oh, that's how we live. Because we don't like surprises. And so, but we like to feel spontaneous. And so we never give it to the person. We leave it on the answering machine. Whoa, far out. You don't want to be that way with life. You don't want to manipulate life so that she's always the way you want her to be. You just sit there and say, you're free to be any way you want. It's not, the yogi eventually does not perceive it as unknown because they have come to know her and they are comfortable with her. They don't know what she's going to do, but they know her. And they have given themselves to life, and so they are comfortable with the unfolding of life. Then life comes to you, and what happens, the mystical thing that happens, people don't get it. When she brings what she brings, you participate in it. When she takes what she takes, you participate in releasing. You participate in receiving, you participate in releasing. And sometimes she brings and takes. Then you participate in giving. And there's this dance that happens that is part of her coming and going. And you are like that leaf in the breeze that blows with the breeze. It has no resistance of its own. It is in harmony with the flow of life. That's the Tao. I've talked to you before. That's what Lao Tzu meant by the Tao. That is the way. That is the balance. That is the harmony. The question is, who is willing to experiment with what their life will be? I mean, some people experiment with a horse race, some people experiment with a chemistry. I'm talking about experimenting with your whole life. That's what your life becomes. What is it that life wishes to be? Because that's what I want it to be. Which way does life wish to blow me? Because that's where I want to go. What is it that life wishes to bring, to take, to give, to this, to that? Who is it life wants me to be with? And for how long? What experiences does life want me to have? And in which way, at what time? That's what a yogi's mind says. Never, what do I want and how do I get it? There is none of that tension. There's none of that control. There's just the awesome openness. And now I started by saying, good, isn't that beautiful? What happens when she goes past your limits? What happens when she pushes past your reasonableness? When she's trying to take you further. She's trying to take you on a journey that's beyond yourself by definition. If you want to go beyond yourself, you must go beyond yourself. I don't know how to explain it any more. You can't stay within yourself and go beyond yourself. So you have to decide. Do you want what you want? Or are you willing to die to be reborn? Are you willing to surrender so that what is can be instead of you being? That is the great experiment in life. It is the great experiment in life, you hear me? And if you're doing anything other than that, you're missing life. Don't fight with life. Experience life. Don't try to decide what to do or not do. Come in harmony with what is. Come in harmony with what is. To do so, you must release your desires. Why? Not because they're wrong. There's no wrong. You could release your desires and then life bring you exactly what it is you released. If you were doing it out of desire, you'd be in big trouble. It would cause tremendous disturbance. If she brought it, it was harmony. It was the Dharma. That's what the Dharma is. The Dharma is how the leaf blows. And so you sit, why does desire must go? Because by definition, desire means you're doing the action based on your own preferences. Then by definition, it is not the Tao. They get it all wrong. It's not that it's wrong. It's not that anything is right or wrong. It's that if it starts in you out of need, it creates desire, you will then do all this junk of trying to get it. You must be willing to let go and let come and honor and appreciate the unfolding of life. If you have difficulty with this, good. I'm glad. Because it means it's time to expand. It means it's time to change. It means it's time to go beyond yourself. This is the great yoga. Somebody once called it the pathless path. You cannot define it. It has no edges. All right? But it's there, isn't it? Tiger.